All right, so we've already seen some of the pages of this book.
Yeah, so we have them over here. So I actually want to walk you through them. So this is the first page, and the very first caption of it, and it says in the ashcan, is November 22nd, 1992. Well, and then it says, or maybe it's the 23rd.
Oh, okay.
So the first panel here is really what you get context of how long's it been since Watchmen ended. But you also get the narrator who's ever telling you this isn't entirely reliable, right?
Okay.
They're not sure what day it is. That's really important. And here, what we reveal in this very first page, and this is something that we've held back on until we put out these pages, is that this is not the DC universe.
Yeah, why did you decide to start on the Watchmen world?
Because of the whole story, because of the context of the world, and this is mirrors in a lot of ways the first page of Watchmen, right? Where you start close on Rorschach holding a sign, and you pull up and he's walking alone on the sidewalk. Then you pull all the way up, and you're kind of a God's eye point of view. And it was that God's eye point of view that I wanted to challenge, because Dr. Manhattan is essentially a god, right? And this is all about what the world's become and the strife between the sides that the world has broken into, and kind of a damnation of it, the damnation of it all, and a perspective of how God is left, and this is the world he's left behind, and the only way to save it is to bring God back down. So rather than stay up in that point of view, we come right back down to the ground.
That's great. And is specifically the sign "We Need a Doctor" or a specific reference to Manhattan?
Yes.
Nice.
It is. There's so many references in these pages, and also the dialogue that goes with them references it. But here's the first big realization that, oh my God, this is Adrian's building.
Yeah.
And people are rioting outside it. And the reason they're rioting outside it, as we come to learn, we go through here, and this kind of takes us through the world and gives us context of what's going on in the world. And how, like right here really says the American dream's been shattered. This is the American nightmare, and there's chaos throughout the world. And it's resulted in the fact that, when we go to page 3, the big plan that Ozymandias did has been uncovered, right? The Great Lie. And it's finally been uncovered. And so suddenly you're like, oh my God.
Everyone knows about
Everyone
the Squid
knows,
Plan,
right? Everyone knows, and you learn how everyone knows to an extent, and then you find out he's the most wanted man in the world, and everyone's hunting him.
Right.
Yeah, they're searching for him, and you cut to Russian military, and they're outside Karnak. And I love this detail, the palm tree, still frozen and left over from when he opened up his garden. And the Russian military come in, and all these pages are covered in newscasts. And as they go into Karnak and they walk in, the military find a room we hadn't seen previously. It's this medical bay where there are some photographs up there, x-rays of a skull and a tumor inside that skull.
Which, by the way, this is one of the panels that you shared previously, which the nice little tease.
It is. This is one of the panels, and again, this harkens back to Dr. Manhattan's interactions with people in the original Watchmen.
Now I have to go a little nerd. Is February 10th an important date?
It is an important date.
Okay.
And then we go to, the news is going on, and it's basically saying, okay, the National News Network is taking over as of 6 o'clock tonight, so we're shutting down. We're signing off. Thank you for all the years. We're done. And as they shut down, we come up on the National News Network, and you see all the TVs now are the same. And there's only one voice being told, and that's a voice directly from the President of the United States, and this is the reporter who's delivering that message, and basically said there are things that have happened. Nuclear war could be imminent, and you need to evacuate. And so we cut to, and as they're talking about evacuation, get out of the red zones, you cut to a prison where all the guards are like, we're out of here, and all the prisoners are like, let us out of here. And he says, give me the keys. He said, and this is where we finally reveal, Rorschach. And he gets up, and he looks at the guy, and he says, you still want out? And the guy says, no, man, I'm cool. And he takes off. There's so many things in here, and with the dialogue on here, you'll be able to dissect. And that's part of the fun of Watchmen, is like, I want you to read this more than once. I want you to read this more than twice. Gary and I want you to get in there, and there's so many things throughout these whole first 6 pages alone that people should have a lot of fun, like just digging into it and getting more and more meanings. These first 6 pages they're so important because they set up the status of the world, you know, the mysteries of it all, the chaos of it all, and then specifically they start to lead into our first character, who's, of course, in the center of it all, is Rorschach.